everyone? Walter Bear here. We do this every single day, every week, every hour. So there's a couple things that I wanted to tackle really quick, and that was that last week when I was discussing the weird symbols in music. This week I'm going to be discussing the idea of treble clef, alto clef, and bass clef in a piece of music. So check this out. Yo, what's up everyone? My name is Walter Bear, and welcome to your weekly music lesson with Walter. Awesome, okay? Okay, so if I take a piece of music and it's really high, you would result that in being treble clef. Now, the reason why you would say treble clef, bass clef, alto clef is because those are pretty much the three ranges, okay, in a piece of music. So treble clef is really high, very, high in pitch, and so bass clef is extremely low in pitch. So here's bass. Okay, very deep, very low, and treble clef is very high. Okay? So now, what's in between there? And that's referred to as alto clef. Now, the cool thing about bass clef and alto clef and treble clef is that they all combine in the one ultimate stave, which is called the grand staff. My alto clef is actually in between my treble clef and my bass clef. So here my bass goes G, B, D, F, A, here's the C, and my treble goes E, G, B, D, F. Every good boy does fine. Here's where it gets awesome, okay? Is that if I continually walk up G, G, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, the next line is C, D, the next space, E, F, G, A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Okay, so check this out. This is where it gets awesome. This F right here on the bass line is actually the first line in treble clef. So here is actually, is the first line in my alto clef. So this here is actually what my alto clef looks like, and here we have F, A, here's the C, there's the E, and then there's the G.
Hey, what's up guys, Walter Bear here, and okay, so here we have a couple cool things, and here we have the trumpets, trombones, and then we have a bass trombone, and notice how the trumpet is actually in treble clef. Here we have the trombone is in alto clef, and the bass trombone is in bass clef. So the reason why that's important is because you'll notice here that the alto clef literally sits in between. So if I were to take one of these notes, like let's take like maybe this note here, bring it down, okay, and let's make these three E, or you know what, let's do actually it'd probably be better if we did three C's, right? So let's make these three C's, okay, and let's take this entire thing, and now notice how those three C's, when they're pasted here, they're actually an octave above this middle C. If I wanted this to be middle C, I would have to actually have it be this in the middle. Now if I copy and paste these notes here that are in alto clef, notice right here, this is actually your alto clef right there. Okay, so if I copy and paste these, you'll notice that these notes here are in unison to these notes, which is the same as these notes. So all these notes are the same exact notes written three different ways. This here is C, right here, I'm sorry. This here is C, this here is middle C, and this here is also middle C. Notice how it actually looks if it were to be written down. It kind of has like that line right there. And this line right there in the middle, that note, is actually telling you where C is. So this note right here is C, and then this is E, obviously because you have C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. So if this were to move up at all, then what it would be doing is that it would literally be changing where the note C was throughout the entire piece. This flat right here is actually telling you that it's the key of F. That's the key signature.
Notice this little arrow here that I drew. I'm not that good, but this arrow here in my clef actually dictates to me where my middle C is. So if I take this, if I keep the stage the same, right? If these lines don't move, but I take this pattern, this B, this alto clef shape, and I move it up. Wherever I move it to, this will always, 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 100% always dictate where the C is, okay? And it's always going to dictate middle C, okay? So if I were to move this up to here, let's say like, if I were to do something like this, okay? Then right here, this line, now that line is middle C, okay? So, you know, did you see how I moved up the alto clef? Up, and then if I were to move it down, like something like this, now this line is middle C. And so then you're probably saying to yourself, well then what happens with treble clef and bass clef? And the answer is that they don't move, right? So this is the line just below treble clef, which means that my treble clef would start here. This happened to be, crossing it out, this happened to be my alto clef. And then bass clef, of course, would start down here.